I do not think Matt Ryan is washed up. I know a lot of sort of speculation has been coming up after his rough week 2 performance. The Colts did not score a point. People are wondering what's wrong with the Colts. And again, people love to find the simplest solutions sometimes. And that's not to say that there's no truth to Ryan playing poorly. I mean, he has not been having a great couple of weeks. But like is always the case, these answers are often a lot more complex than you might hear on Fox Sports. There's always a lot more going into it. And while Ryan is, without his faults, and we'll talk about his faults, there's other issues at play and some issues I think could get better. So first, let's talk about the fault, and let's talk about the worst play that we would see, I think, from Matt Ryan. It looked really ugly in the broadcast footage. However, I have to say, it makes a lot more sense once you really break it down. And this is something that I think Matt Ryan actually threw the ball where he wanted to throw the ball here. It was just maybe a bad decision. So let's break down the play. It's going to be, the route you see that I've circled in white, that's where Ryan is going to want to throw to. Now, seems a bit dangerous, right? Because there's 2 safeties deep, so you have to be dangerous when pushing the ball down the field. But you have another receiver in that area running a go route, which will hopefully, get the safety who is on that side of the field to follow the go route. And then you can still kind of push the ball down the field, just not as far. So watch how Ryan takes the snap, and he is going to look in that direction. And you can see how it is about to get open. So for Ryan wanting to make that throw, it makes some sense. But here's the issue. There's pressure right now. So he would ideally like to have another second to make this throw, but he can't. He has to get rid of the football now. And Ryan is going to do a move that Ryan has done a bunch over the course of his NFL career. He is going to just sort of throw a floater here, where he's going to kind of put a little bit of air under it, and hopefully it'll get to the spot where he wants it to get to at the exact time that the receiver is cutting, but this way he can still get rid of the football now. Ryan has done this a decent amount over his career. However, the safety is able to read it, makes a great read on the play, and is able to get the interception because, again, the issue with that kind of throw is that if a defender reads it, we'll then have a lot more time to adjust and make the play, and that's what happened there. So it certainly looks bad there. There's no denying that, and it is bad. He threw an interception. He shouldn't have tried to do the floater there. But the reason why I'm kind of a bit more, less harsh on this play than other people might be is I think we're hearing some people say, oh, this is proof that Matt Ryan is washed up. Look at, how he barely got anything even on that throw. He wasn't trying to get much on that throw. So that's why I'm a bit more lenient there. And as for the other stuff, I thought that, the reality is not having Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce, it's making your offense look worse. Yes, when you have who are supposed to be your number 1 and number 2 receivers not playing, your offense is going to look worse, especially when it's the Colts offense, where kind of what we talked about with their receiving core is, outside of Michael Pittman, what do they really have? And, a promising young rookie in Alec Pierce, what do they really have? Like this play, it's going to be, it's a 3rd down and short. You have to get to the 32-yard line. And, that's where they're trying to, that's really the route that Ryan is going to look towards. You see, right when this play begins, it's actually getting, open enough that they can definitely make this play. So, okay, good job. You got someone open. It's not wide open, but there's an opportunity here. Ryan is going to make this throw, and it is just dropped. I mean, that should have been a catch, and that should have been a 1st down. And there were some plays like this that just seemed like they were a bit off that weren't really Matt Ryan's fault too much. It just didn't work out. And again, I'm not absolving Ryan of any of the blame. Ryan deserves some blame, and I suspect he will get better. It's just to say there are more issues at play, and one of the things they have to do is just get, their regular receiving core back into lineup and get everyone healthy, and that's going to make things easier, I would assume. Because like something like this is another example, because again, one thing I always talk about is if receivers aren't getting open, quarterbacks look worse, and this is an example. It's man coverage, and you see the concept that Ryan is going to look towards. However, when Ryan takes the snap and looks to his left, you see that neither one of these guys are open right here. And you don't get that much time in the NFL. I mean, you can't just wait for forever for this, to hopefully develop. And we're talking nearly, it's about just under 2.5 seconds is where we're at in this play. So you really do have to make a decision right around now. And there doesn't appear to be anyone about to get open. So Ryan has to figure something else out. What Ryan does is he kind of runs around a little bit and then just falls down. Maybe you would have liked him to throw the ball away there instead of taking the sack. I think that's a fair criticism of Ryan. But still, the point remains that if guys are getting open, this isn't an issue. And it's kind of one of those things where the Colts kind of, by strategy, do not go out and try to get a ton of talented wide receivers. They feel they can scheme up guys open, which, I like to have talented receivers as opposed to trying to scheme up guys to be open. But even with that, if you're not scheming guys up to be open, and you don't have the talented receivers, bad things are going to happen. Like this play is another, to me, this is a good example of kind of both why it's fair to criticize Ryan, but also why it's fair to criticize the talent around Ryan and why you need a Michael Pittman here, right? Because if this is Michael Pittman on this route, it's a one-on-one matchup with a single safety deep on the outside. You want guys to be able to win here, but when Ryan takes a snap and he looks in that direction, I mean, this doesn't appear to be open. Ryan is going to like this situation just because it's a one-on-one matchup, and a 50-50 ball down the field, that's certainly not the worst time to take a chance. I get the logic behind it. Ryan's throw is decent, but it's well defended, and they were not able to get a completion there. So that's the kind of thing where you just hope that when you get more talented receivers to be playing, then you can start making those catches, and it also opens it up for the guys they do have playing to not have to be the win on the outside number one receivers. They can kind of just be role players, and it makes everyone look better. But until then, yes, it is going to make Matt Ryan look worse as well. Because on situations like this, where it's going to be man coverage, it's a cover one blitz, so on this situation, you just need somebody to win. I mean, this play cannot work with really scheming guys open. I guess it can. You can run like a pick play or something. But the reality is, oftentimes in these situations, it's a third down and relatively short. They need to get to the 44-yard line here. So just need to pick up a few yards. And, the route you see on the screen, that's the route Ryan's going to look towards. But you need this to hit. As you see, Ryan is going to look in that direction. And, it's a little bit open. It's not wide open, though. But this is kind of this tough spot that Ryan has been put in. Is he's trying to fit the ball through tight windows. Nothing else is more open. I mean, this is the right throw to make. However, as you see, it's again defended well and incomplete. Jacksonville did a good job playing defense. That's a part of it as well. You have to give credit to the Jaguars. They covered well. They were able to defend well. So because of this, that makes the offense look even worse. But to me, this was the far bigger issue than Ryan is washed up. I don't believe that to be the case. Listen, he might be washed up. I don't know. But that's not the reason why the Colts struggled so much against Jacksonville. One last play to kind of, again, really illustrate this point is, a lot of times, and listen, the Jacksonville pass rush definitely gave Ryan some trouble at times, but there was also just situations like this, where watch what happens. So Ryan takes a snap and first looks to his right. Maybe he could hit an 83 into flat. There's a chance that could work. That's not where he's looking, though. He's looking a little bit closer to another tight end who is just completely not open. That's his first read. He liked it pre-snap, but it's not open post-snap. Okay, well, what do? You go to another read. So Ryan goes to his left, and now at this point, he sees another player who is absolutely not open. I mean, either of these throws would have resulted in interceptions. It's a second down, so you don't want to take a sack here. Matt Ryan tries to run, and in doing that, ends up getting sacked right there, which is not good. And you could sit here and say, oh, bad sack by Matt Ryan. And I don't disagree. He probably should have thrown the ball away. But Matt Ryan is, if you think about it, he's pretty much always had talented receivers throughout the most part of his career. The offensive lines have been good or bad, but talented receivers has pretty much been, a typical spot for him. This is kind of a new scenario for him, even though he has been in the league for so long, and he does have to adjust to figuring out how to make this work as well. So that's probably the biggest and I think most fair criticism to put on Ryan. But the idea that he is someone who is washed up, I just don't think it's the case. His arm still looks as good as it's ever looked. I think it's more so they need to get guys open, and I think they will, but that's why I think that they've struggled so much through 2 weeks. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.